so continuing this interview from the point that they're from Glenn, so continuing this interview.
Beyond help.
So basically, continue this interview. We go towards the direction of predatory species on this planet and symbiotic species on this planet, and then the naturally evolved group of humans from which these two groups of these different expressions, these different cosmic travellers have arrived on this planet, so which most of the humans that are on this planet are related to one group or the other, and within different degrees of that. So depending on how you're integrated into those groups defines a lot of principles within yourself that you would be able to incarnate through. And so really looking at the farming methods that are going on and what's being farmed, because the frequencies that are getting farmed are for other dimensions as well, so not just on this dimension, but the emotional frequencies and the various frequencies that are being created on this planet, by even with cars, with music, with our building, with a lot of things that we do is not sustainable, and it hasn't always been unsustainable. And the reason for this cycle is evolution of what is available. So it's not necessarily so evolution is requested by necessity. There has to be a reason to evolve, and this is part of an evolutionary cycle. And so looking more at it like that, there are 82 groups of extraterrestrials at least that have come out as extraterrestrial to myself, and so that is like what would always make no sense to me, because of the history that I was obviously indoctrinated with through my education, and so that, how they conflict with that at the time of my exposure. It becomes sort of a gaslighted, an institutional gaslighting of those experiences, which to an extent I almost have to do to myself. So I almost have to not take various things seriously in order to maintain any facade of credibility to the operations of general day-to-day existent life on this planet for myself growing up. So going to school, for instance, and so or going to work, and at this point only, I generally moved quite a long way by the time it came to work, and so there are reasons why I have worked, but obviously it's difficult to do a lot of things without the money. So you censor your own experiences, which isn't necessarily. This is everyone is an experiencer on this planet for sure. So where does that go, and what's the point of this conversation? Is really to round this up somewhere with this is someone from Ethiopia telling me that they were made in this body, and that there's different soul groups that were on this planet, and that she was aware of these different soul groups as a princess in this tribe in Ethiopia. And it was very interesting how that story came to me, and the timing of that story and that person in my life. So there's also other experiences with people from West Africa, sort of London Yardie guys that I've seen shapeshift and literally dislocate their jaw and pull their head back up quite substantially to look considerably different from human. I have seen that personally, and even from Cameroon, I've met people from Cameroon who would say that they've got extraterrestrial origins, and they're related to the pharaohs in Egypt. So they were related to some of the first pharaohs, these Phons from Egypt, these princes, to West Africa, where they're from the original princes that were farmed in Egypt from the first dynasty in Egypt. And this sort of links back into where my own personal experiences would come back from. And so that, taking seriously that there is different groups on this planet, and sort of the dissolving the illusion that humans evolved from Africans helped a lot for me, because I could never understand why all the other mammals in the planet had straight hair, and that all the humans had evolved from something that had curly hair, but yet went back to having straight hair. I couldn't ever understand where the curly hair came from, and this is where the principle was coming from that the Ethiopian lady was talking to me about, or even the Cameroonian people I used to know, and so I still in contact with, and this is obviously. I've obviously also seen that shapeshifting Rastafarian, you could dislocate his jaw and literally pull the dreadlocks, his head, pull it out quite different from a human head. Looked a lot like the guy, the sort of shape from Predator, which is where this is just it's a predatory, or not predatory, but a predatory in as much as sort of emotionally narcissistic creation. And so in terms of how the emotions are developed around these cultures, or certain cultures that are created within power structures they've put on this planet, because that's where the power structures come from, these what would you like to call them? I don't know. You're not supposed to give them a name or a word. You're not supposed to give them say the name at all. It's forbidden to say the words in most of their history, and that is really leading back into history again. So that comes. I think we've really gone from cosmology into history there, and talking about the different groups that are active on this planet, and how there were humans on this planet who have been subjugated by one group of order, say of maths, this curly head, big mouth, narcissistic expression of order over entropy, over chaos. And then there's the other side of where this planet is also, the humans on this planet have intermingled with, or have evolved with to an extent, or created union with, or helped to incarnate on this planet, these Nordic groups with the blue eyes. So that's basically where we're going to go there. There's two groups on this planet. Most humans are related to one group or the other, and that's pretty much where it is.